China has been buying up the world at a rapid pace in recent years. As we calculate and analyze the statistics, it becomes overwhelming. More than any other country, China has been systematically purchasing vast quantities of real estate, land, and corporations in other countries like the US. It becomes clear that people within the US cannot afford to buy big ticket items, and so foreign investment has been changing the face of the markets. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I found a few articles that I believe are very important. Let's look at China today, beginning with this article here out of the New York Times. Just when it looked as if a relative calm was returning to the Chinese markets, stocks nosedive again on Friday. The main Shanghai index lost 5.5%. That's a fairly significant number to think about, and we are seeing major fluctuations occurring in the Chinese markets. Of course, it's not just exclusive to Chinese markets, but that is the topic for today. Shares had been on the rebound in recent months after the summers of turbulent trading, and of course I was covering that here, showing you that it was really big swings and why. As they mentioned here, the Chinese government's attempt to prop up the market, and by the central bank's surprise devaluation of the currency, the renminbi. So we have some major changes that have been occurring with the currency in China. Now, let's look at this here. This article here is talking about the real estate in how basically Chinese investment buying up US real estate. And you can watch the video. I definitely would recommend it. And we're looking at this here as for example, this. A ranch will soon be a gated subdivision of 99 mini mansions designed for buyers from mainland China. So they're actually making these subdivisions that are basically all developed with one specific purpose. They get into this here as I won't want to really get into all the details, but it says basically the flood of money is likely to persist despite what's happening within China. While a currency devaluation and stock market crash have crimped the country's buying power overseas, the resulting uncertainty is making many Chinese individuals and companies eager to invest anywhere except their home country. So we have some interesting info here. I'm going to move on into this. It's a bunch of different diagrams as we look at this, the exodus of money. With the Chinese government loosening capital restrictions, the country's wealthy individuals and companies are moving more money overseas in search of better returns. We did see an opening of the amount of money that was allowed to leave China, and lo and behold, more money has left China. So you could see the outflows that are going on since, let's say, 2014, 2013 that have been occurring, but it is a growing trend. This is important to note because it determines how much money is going to basically leave the Chinese stock market, leave the Chinese real estate market, and then enter other markets. Of course, the money doesn't just stop. It is a currency. It's current. It goes somewhere else. A chunk of the money is flowing into residential real estate, particularly in the United States, where the Chinese represent the largest group of overseas buyers. A trend which began on the coast is now moving to the Midwest. And you could see by far and large, China obviously buying up massive quantities of the real estate within the US. Moving on to this, an actual map showing you the different regions. Clearly, California is the place that they are buying most of the real estate, but it seems to be spread out all throughout. And of course, it's not just the US that they're purchasing land. You can see this going on in many other countries. In fact, after the crisis that occurred in Cyprus, we saw many Chinese foreign buyers purchasing real estate there as well. One of the major reasons why a lot of countries like the US have become attractive is because you're basically giving away free money. You have 30-year mortgages that have been declining in over 30 years straight. And you could see these numbers that are really staggering to believe. But you know that if you're going to give away a mortgage at practically 0%, people are going to buy. If they have even a little bit of money, they're going to be able to buy real estate. Let's look at this here. mainland Chinese students at the US universities and colleges. And then you're also looking at the investing to live in the US. And basically, as long as there is money for any particular reason, you'll find it finding its way here into the US. This is part of the video that they show where basically this family purchasing a piece of real estate in order for their son who will need it in, let's say, 15 years from now. So they buy up the real estate now, they'll rent it out to somebody else, and then eventually the child will move into that property. So they are thinking very long term, and they are doing this very, very smart. And last but not least, just the infographic here that I suggest you do look through to really follow up on this issue. You can see all of these little dots representing all the different foreign investment. You could see how China buying up real estate all over the world. In fact, they're accounting, look at this, Ecuador, 57% of all foreign investment in Ecuador and many other countries within Africa. They have major stakes within Africa. So obviously they have a huge influence in what goes on in those particular countries. This goes not for just the real estate, but also the businesses that they have been purchasing and have been investing in. That's all I'll say for this video here today. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. It very much helps me out, so I do appreciate that. Last but not least, if you go over to my Amazon page, they have the book here. You can flip through it, see if you like it. So if you click on the link in the description below, you can see the book, flip through it for yourself and see if you like it. Take care.